Welcome back to Wolf Dog Empires. Today we're gonna take a look at, if you're new, you might not know that some of the heroes that you're getting 3 stars and 4 stars are more important than you know. So, which ones are important in the 3 stars and 4 stars to keep against? If you want to go up against a Titan and you want to go win some raids and maybe win some Alliance War battles. In 3-star, it's Nordri. So Nordri, he's got his damage to the target and nearby enemies, but it says here the target and nearby enemies get minus 54% defense against ice for 4 turns. So if you don't have King Arthur, which I don't, if you don't have Frida. So if you look at Frida here, she's a 5-star blue. The target and nearby enemies get minus 54% defense against ice for 4 turns. So that's elemental defensive down for 4 turns. So she's great against Titans. She's great to begin your stack for against in the Alliance War against the enemy, because she's gonna give minus 54% defensive down to the target and nearby enemies for 4 turns, and then you can start hitting the enemy with, let's say, Finley. Custom Finley gives minus 56% defense. So if you got 54 minus 50, that's over 100% defensive down. So that's pretty much counts as 100% defensive down. So if you have those two in combination there, you set off Frida and then you set off Constant Finley, and that's, you're pretty much taking the entire defensive down from that enemy, like a Titan. And then King Arthur is the other 5-star that I mentioned. Minus 54% defense against ice for 4 turns. So he's another great one to have. So, but people know that if you have this great 5-star, you want to keep them and you want to level them up. Frida is a great one, and King Arthur is another great one. But if you don't have those two, and I don't, then Nordri, a 3-star, you might have 2 of this guy, and you might pick up 3 or more later on in the portal that he comes out in. Then you want to actually keep, for Alliance War, you have 6 flags. So if somebody is going to use red tanks, I don't see that too often, then you could keep 3 to 5 of these Nordris. I actually kept, I think I have 5 copies of Nordri. And what you do is you just bring one up. You just bring one up, and then later on you bring one more. You want to bring them all the way up, as far as you're going to bring them. Here's the one I use in the Alliance War. So that's 2 with those 2. One's at 55 and one's at 51. That's a 3rd one. So it's 4 that I have right now. Thought I had a 5th one, but okay. So I have 4. These 3 plus the other one that I cannot. I use them, so I cannot pull them in here already. So I have 4 Nordris. So I have 4 from Nordris, And so in blue, if you don't have Frida, you don't have King Arthur, and you want to set up like 4 blue stack teams, then you're gonna need 4 Nordries. And then if I get Frida later on, or King Arthur, then that's why you don't want to level them all up, like let's say to like 2-1, all 4. You want to just use 1 all the way up, then a second 1 all the way up. I actually had more Nordries, that's why I put them into these. That's why they're kind of partially leveled up. I had like, I probably pulled like 14 of this guy. You know, I pull a lot. But anyways, if you don't pull a lot, keep I would say 3 to 5 Nordries, and then just level 1 all the way up. So you have 1 good stack, and then once that one's completely up, then you bring up a second 1 all the way up, and then a third 1 and a fourth 1. And in blue, I already used this Costume Finley. That's a minus 56% down. So together, that's over 100, because this one's minus 54. So with Nordry and Costume Finley, you're already bringing the defense of the enemy down to 100%. 100% minus defensive down, so it's the whole defense is completely gone. The next hit after that is just HP. You're actually lowering their HP, so that's a really good one there. I do have another Finley for my second stack, like a second team. So he's right here. I'm upgrading the regular Finley first, but then eventually I'll switch over to the Costume Finley. I have him at a 140 right now. I'll bring him up though soon. Okay, and then after that you can do a healer here or here, or a healer here and here if you want 2 healers. So Nordry is your elemental defensive down, and then you put your defensive down here, and then you got a healer here. You can put another healer here, and then you can just hit your, I guess, your big damage. Let's call him a sniper right here in blue. So you can use Fenrir, you can use Cathal. Just depends on who you have. I mean, if you have to use Omer there, if you have to, if you're that new, then that's fine. And then as you get more heroes later on, then you'll be able to level those up, and then maybe Costume Omer falls down to your second stack of blue. And then as you get more hitters up here with Richard and other Jot and other people, then Childoon, Sapphire, Zilale, as you start bringing more blue hitters, then maybe the 3-star falls down to your third stack, and then eventually even to your fourth stack. So in blue, that's how I try to set it up. And in the Alliance War, when you see somebody who has 2 reds, then that's when you are gonna try to set up. There's 1 red, 1 red, 1 red, 1 red. But sometimes there's 1 red. Sometimes they'll bring in like 2 reds, and you bring up your blue stack. I don't think there was any 2 reds here. No. Okay, so then if there's 2 red, then you bring in your blue stack. So if you don't have King Arthur or Frida, then you will start off with a Nordry and as your elemental defensive down against blue, and then you bring in a defensive down, And then, so, I mean, that'll really lower their defense. And then if you want 2 healers, and you can put in a healer there and a tank if you want. And then bring in a sniper and then another healer. And if you don't have enough healers, then another hitter, why not? 2 snipers, why not? The defense down is down enough to where if you have two snipers after that, you can do a lot of damage. It's just sometimes when you don't get enough blue shields on the map, then sometimes you're at a big disadvantage and you might end up losing that, or you may only take out 1 instead of taking out all 5 enemies. So sometimes you want, I sometimes use 2 healers, 2 off-color healers. I usually try to get 2 different color healers. So I'll put, with my blue stack, I might put like a purple healer and a green healer, or a red healer and a purple healer, just 2 different color ones. So if you get reds, then set off your red healer heal, but if you get purple, then set off your purple healer. So at least you move the board around, even because if the board starts where you don't get a lot of blue matches, once you move that board around enough, all of a sudden you start getting blues coming in, and maybe you start setting off a diamond, and then you start setting off your stack, and you can come back and kill them. So that's why I do recommend 1 elemental defensive down, a regular defensive down, a blue sniper, and 2 off-color healers, so that you have a 3+1+1, a 3-1-1. You don't want to go mono team, because if you don't get those blues, you are almost guaranteed to lose that match. If you go 4-1, similar, you're looking for 2 colors, but with 4 blues that have to be set off, that's still a lot of shields in blue that you have to match. So it'll still take it'll take longer to set off your whole stack, and also you're relying on a lot of blues. Whereas if you go 3-1-1 or 3-2, but 3-1-1 is even better, then there's more colors that you're relying on instead of just 1 or 2. And if the other 2 are healers, then you can kind of heal back just to survive. Another one, speaking of green, another one that I recommend you bring up is Franz and Costum Wilbur. Those go with any color. I use them against my Titans. So Costum Wilbur. So that's the costume portion of them. Actually, I used regular Wilbur earlier, and what the game does is it switches all of your Costum Wilburs, switches them all to regular Wilburs. So I use them in Alliance War, I do believe. So let me equip them back to Costum Wilbur. Okay, so Costum Wilbur, all allies get plus 100% normal attack for 4 turns. So Wukong, 4-star, he gives you 180% plus attack, but then he gives you a big chance to miss. So I prefer Wilbur. Gives you less of attack up, but it gives you no misses. Sometimes when you set off your stack with elemental defensive down, and then you try to hit with a sniper or 2, then those snipers miss, and it messes up your whole stack with the Wukong. So I prefer Wilbur. So once I got Costum Wilbur, I was super happy, and I leveled him up immediately. And the other one that I highly recommend is Franz. Franz in green, he's a 4-star. He deals 215% damage to all enemies. He is mana speed very slow. He's that good. He's that good where the mana speed is slow, very slow actually. So like a Alfriki in 5-star, or Treeville in 3-star. Franz is that very slow mana, but it's because his special skills are super powerful. So he deals 215% damage to all enemies. So look at that, 215 times a 648. So we're talking about like 1300 on all of them. And then all damage that all enemies receive is increased by plus 50% for 6 turns. So if you're gonna be doing like 600 damage, it'll actually hit for 900. And on every single one that gets hit for those 6 turns. All enemies are immune to new status effect buffs for 6 turns. So that's a huge one too. So for 6 turns, all enemies that were going to get buff, it'll just say immune, immune, immune. Sometimes like when they're all gonna get a buff, it'll just say immune on every single one of them. This is something that Costume Black Guardian Panther, she does this also in 5-star. And she's great. I mean, I set her off, and all of a sudden when the enemy sets something off, and I think it's going to give every single one of the enemies a buff, and it'll just say immune, 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 every single one of them. And it's like, yes. So Franz, put him in. I try to put him in every single one of my Titan teams, and Costin Wilbur in every single one of my Titan teams. And so if you have like 6 Franz, keep all 6 and level them all up one at a time. Level 1 Franz up all the way, then the second Franz all the way. Because I mean, like I said earlier, if you're about to hit someone for 600 damage, but Franz had just gone within 6 turns, the enemy is actually going to get 900 damage instead of 600 damage. So Franz is great. So all right, so that's my video on blue stacks, which ones to keep. We all know about 5-star Frida, keep her. 5-star King Arthur, keep him. Up to 2 or 3 copies of them. But if you don't have either of those, a little known fact is keep 3-star Nordri. He's your elemental down in 3-star against for blue. So that's one little known fact that some of the new people, some of the new members don't know. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. I have 4 copies of him, so of Nordri. So for sure, I'm still hoping to get Frida, King Arthur in the future because they survive better, because they have better defense. But for now, if all I got is Nordri, then I'm going to bring up 2 or 3 or even 4. So for now, I hope that after I bring up like 2 of them, maybe I'll summons in a Frida or a King Arthur, and I'll bring them up. But in the meantime, I'm just going to bring up my second Nordri all the way up, and then I'll start bringing up a third if I haven't gotten a Frida or King Arthur. So that's my video. I hope it helps you out here. If you're new and you got Franz, if you got Costin Wilbur, keep multiples of Costin. I mean, if you can have 6 Costin Wilburs, keep 6. If you can keep 6 Franzes, keep 6 Franzes. However many you have, keep them all, because those you're going to be using them. If you're going up in Alliance War and you have to use 6 flags, you can actually put a Franz in each one of those flags, So keep up to 6 of Franz. And in the War of 3 Kingdoms, if there's more than 6 flags to use, then let's count how many are. If you know how many flags there are to be used in War of 3 Kingdoms, leave a comment, let us know. And literally, that's how many copies of Franz you can keep, and that's how many copies of Costin Wilbur you can keep, because they come in handy. You can use them in every single Alliance War team, so they're great there. All right, so thank you for watching Wolfdog Empires. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, leave a comment, let us know what you think. Till next time, Wolfdog Empires.